here to watch these students as they give their speeches. They have worked very hard on these. We just want to say thank you to the parents, the grandparents, the staff, all of the people that have helped these students prepare these speeches. We would also like to start by introducing our judge panel this morning. We have Mr. Josh Harrison, we have Ms. Pam Levins, and we have Ms. Beth Tucker. And keeping time for us this morning, we have Ms. Amber Strominger, and tallying our scores, we have Ms. Rhonda Messer. So, if you will sit back and relax, we are going to get this show on the road. First today, we have Mr. Kyson Allen with Tasmanian Devil.
Have you ever heard of an endangered species? There are over 16,000 endangered species, but I'm only going to talk about one, the Tasmanian devil, also known as the Sarcophagus paracide, which is its scientific name, meaning flesh lover. Is what I'm going to be talking about today. As a review, people think of the Tasmanian devil as just a cartoon character that spins around like a tornado and makes funny noises. Taz may be a famous cartoon creature, but let me tell you about this wild and obnoxious beast coming to life. The Tasmanian devil lives on an island state off the coast of Australia. It is a carnivorous mammal that can grow to 2.5 feet long and can run at a speed of 16 miles per hour. They have a reputation for being loud, fierce, and relentless, but they're mostly known for being shy. They play a very important role in balancing the ecosystem around it. This means it can be a great hunter with its jolting speed. But it's just as important for you to know your ABCs as it is for the Tasmanian devil to balance the number of predators on the planet. The Tasmanian devil has a stronger bite force than any other animal in the world, while being able to eat half of its body weight. Trust me, it's a lot. They were so-called pests because they ate farm animals, so the Australian government paid hunters to exterminate them. They were hunted like crazy until 1941. But now they face something even more deadly, a type of transmitted cancer. Scientists are running experiments for a vaccine to cure the Tasmanian devil, and they're also building borders around areas to protect it. But to put it all together, we need to save the Tasmanian devils because they play a very important role on Earth. They're misunderstood as just a vicious and mean creature, but inside, they're shy. In the famous words of the Tasmanian devil. Translation, please save the Tasmanian devil. To start off with, it takes about 4 days to travel Guatemala by car, but on a plane it takes about 4 hours. We chose to ride on the car. On a plane they give you free food like a sandwich and Coke. It was my first ride on a plane, so it was a bit scary. Before boarding we had to go through searching and checking for our bags. I was not allowed on the plane. Once we landed in Guatemala, the first thing I noticed were people everywhere outside of the airport, selling things such as blankets and candy. It was difficult speaking to them because they speak Spanish and I do not. The first thing we did was eat at a restaurant called Pelo Compero, which had the best ice cream and chicken ever. Sorry, Tasty Freeze. Now to set to the mission part. We were on a mission to show love to the local communities through Jesus Christ by building houses, installing wood stoves, installing water filters, and praying for the whole community during lunch break. I got to play soccer with the local kids, and they were really good. One house we built was at the bottom of a volcano named Fuego, which puffs smoke all day. In closing, I had a great time during my 7 days I spent in Guatemala. milestones, install water filters, and I learned a few Spanish words like de nada and gracias. I felt really good helping the local people in Guatemala and showing them love and showing them Jesus is love with them. I hope to go back soon and continue our mission work and eat more chicken and ice cream from Polo Clara.
What would you do if your data was close to your house? Where would you hide? I want to tell you about the time me and my family survived a tornado. Let me tell you about the scary experience. 4 stars. My mom was cooking in the kitchen when the news came on with a tornado warning for Holmes County. Then the wind started blowing 70 to 80 mile per hour winds. My mom said in a harsh voice, "Get in the hallway." I felt scared at that time. Next, we heard a crackling sound in my brother's room. As we looked up at our ceiling, what seemed to be in slow motion was our big oak tree falling down between the kitchen and living room, destroying everything in its path. I was in shock. I was afraid to go outside, but my mom knew we had to get out of there somehow. Finally, the rain stopped, and our other tree got struck by lightning. That didn't make it any better. Our yard was covered with limbs. It was very messy. When it was all over, we had to stay with my grandfather because our home was separated in half. It felt so sad we had to leave our home. Our house was not able to be fixed, so we had to buy a new house. To sum it up, this is my story of how me and my family survived a tornado. The door flew open due to 70 to 80 mile per hour winds. The biggest oak tree in our yard fell through the kitchen and living room. We lost everything. This is why I feel so scared when there are tornado warnings. If you are ever in a tornado, get in the safest place and protect yourself.
Imagine a newborn batch of golden trio puppies with those cute little faces all lined up in a row. Can you imagine how adorable this is? Raising golden trio puppies is a lot of fun, but a lot of hard work too. Let me tell you about this cute but high maintenance puppies. For the first 2 weeks, the puppies need their mother all the time. They are small enough to fit in the palm of your hand and cannot see or hear yet. Even though the mom takes care of them, don't forget to keep on checking on them. One time, a puppy stopped breathing, and my mom had to give it mouth to snout to bring it back to life. At 2 weeks old, they began to open their ears and eyes. We gave them the first medicine to keep them healthy. The puppies love to cuddle with each other. Most of the time, they are sleeping in one big pile. Can you imagine how adorable that is? It's hard to resist picking up a puppy and giving it a big hug. At 4 weeks old, they are really playing a lot. They move outside and we have to clean up after them more often. Their little teeth started to come out. They begin to eat puppy food. Watch out for those sharp teeth. They love to chew on toes and fingers. Ouch! The puppies grow very fast the 2nd month. They love to chew on each other's ears. They go to the vet so she can make sure they are healthy and get those shots. They go by the cute till the day getting ready to go home at 8 weeks old. We are so sad to tell them goodbye, but happy to see them go to a happy home where they will be loved. As you can see, raising golden retriever puppies is a mix of fun and hard work. At the beginning, they need a mother all the time. But in the end, they really need our help to keep them healthy. Now you know what it takes to raise golden retriever puppies. It isn't all fun. First of all, turtles mistake trash for food. Sea turtles mistake plastics for food, such as shellfish. This mistake causes blockages within their digestive system and eventual death. According to the U.S. EPA, Americans use more than 380 billion plastic bags and wrappers each year. Plastic bags and balloons may look like food to a hungry sea turtle, but plastics and trash don't belong inside a sea turtle or the ocean at all. Moving right along, dolphins mistake trash for food. I watched a movie and a dolphin gets stuck and injured by the water. Dolphins can get stuck in nets that some people use for fishing. So if you ever go fishing with a net, you should make sure there's no dolphins around, because if a dolphin gets stuck in that net, it could kill the dolphin. Dolphins can mistake plastic Walmart bags and other types of plastic for fish, and they end up eating it, and if they eat it, they could die. Sometimes a dolphin can mistake Pepsi cans for fish or for something else. Finally, I think people should clean up beaches. People should clean up beaches after parties so no sea creatures like a turtle mistake it for food. You should clean up beaches so if turtles are going to be hatching soon, they don't get stuck in Pepsi cans or other types of plastic. A way to enjoy cleaning up the beach is by making buttons and stuff with the trash. Last, you should clean up beaches so no birds pick up the trash and drop it into the ocean. To sum it all up, don't throw trash into the ocean. First, turtles mistake trash for food. Next, dolphins mistake trash for food. Last, you should clean up beaches. Maybe one day you can clean up a beach, or maybe even save a sea creature. Has anyone in your family ever struggled with an addiction? Whether it be drugs, alcohol, or even video games? Well, someone near and dear to me has struggled with an addiction most of his adult life, and it has affected me and my family, and it's a topic that I'm very passionate about. The term addiction can mean many things to many people. To me, addiction is the repeated involvement with a substance or activity that, despite the harm it causes the addict and his or her family, the disease is a major and continuing problem in the United States. Over 23 million Americans aged 12 and older struggle with the substance use disorder. Many millions more are affected by the disease, such as spouses, children, family members, close friends, neighbors, and even co-workers. According to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, the cost of substance abuse is unbelievable. Over $600 billion annually in terms of healthcare, crime, incarceration, and loss of productivity are spent yearly due to addiction. Most people who abuse drugs or alcohol are employed. The stereotype of an addict being unemployed and homeless isn't very accurate. In fact, 75% of people with drinking or drug problems are employed. What is that tough? It means anyone can struggle with an addiction at any income level or position in life. Remember that addict that is near and dear to me? Well, that's my daddy. And I'm proud to say he's 8 months sober now, and he is doing better than ever. And I've never lost hope in it. Even when he was at his worst, I never lost hope. Addiction is incurable but treatable. Contrarily to popular opinion, addiction can never be cured. It's like a lifelong disease like diabetes or cancer. But just like those conditions, the symptoms of addiction can be managed. Please remember, an addict is someone's mom, dad, sister, brother, or child. Judgment isn't our place. Instead of judging, we should educate ourselves on this disease.
Have you ever conducted a science experiment? Or do you know how to use the scientific method? Well, some of my favorite people in history did, but used it in such a peculiar way, they were given the nickname of mad scientists. Here are a few of the eccentric and peculiar, yet genius savants that were called deranged, like me. Let me tell you why I think that is. To begin with, we have Leonardo da Vinci. Although a well-known artist, few people realize he was also an astonishing engineer. He created amazing inventions that were far beyond the capabilities of most people in his time. I think his original models and drawings for things such as the parachute, helicopter, and armored fighting vehicle are all examples of his eccentric mind and thought process. I think I had one once. Let me check if it's still there. Hello? Anybody home? Nope. Back to the big brainers. I believe these conceptual ideas caused the people of his time to consider him a mad scientist. Additionally, there is Sir Isaac Newton. In history, he was known as one of the most influential scientists. His superior devices include the Newtonian cat door, Newton's orbital cannon, and the philosopher's stone. I believe what made him a mad scientist was his quirkiness. For example, he was known to test his theories on himself, even going so far as to jab himself in the eye with a needle just during one of his trials, just to see his own reaction. Ouch. Last but certainly not least is Johann Conrad Dippel, born in 1673 in Castle Frankenstein. He was an alchemist and scientist. His dye, Prussian blue, is still in use today. In my opinion, he's known as a mad scientist because of his unique, life-extending elixirs, made from the unpleasant and pungent ingredients of animal bones and their hides. Ugh. Also for his interest in dissecting animals and reassembling them like a jigsaw puzzle. Won't find a puzzle like that in Walmart. In conclusion, these scientists were eccentric and peculiar and mad. However, they were still genius minds who made their mark on history, as in Leonardo da Vinci and him being a well-known artist and engineer. Some of his ideas even surpassed the expectations of his peers. In addition, Sir Isaac Newton is known as one of our most influential scientists. Lastly, Johann Conrad Dippel's macabre interest in dissecting animals was Mary Shelley's inspiration for the book Frankenstein. And to those of you who may want to become a renowned scientist one day, take these three men and use them as a guide to becoming influential but not mad. I know I will.
What do you think the Red Cross is? Well, the Red Cross is an organization that provides emergency assistance and disaster relief. Now I'm going to tell you about the Red Cross and the person who started it. Now sit back and listen to this amazing story about Clara, Barton, and the Red Cross. To start with, she risked her life to bring supplies to soldiers during the Civil War. She also provided care for the soldiers during the Civil War. Clara provided clothing, food, and supplies for the sick soldiers. She also provided personal support to the men, helping their spirits up. Clara wrote letters to them and said of their personal problems and prayed with them. She also collected and distributed supplies for the United Army. Moving right along, 1 month after her first battlefield training, Clara almost died in the gruesome Battle of Antietam. As she lifted a sick man's head, a bullet shot through the dress of the sleeve that she was wearing. She survived, but her patient did not. A ball went between her body and the arm that was holding up the man. It was cutting through her chest, shoulder to shoulder. There was nothing to be done for the man, so she left him to rest. One other time, she encountered a student who had been her former student at her school in New Jersey. The next point that I would like to make is Clara was the co-founder of the Red Cross. She used to work for the Office of Correspondent, then it closed down, so she went to Europe to relax and recuperate. In Switzerland, she learned about the International Red Cross.
It would have been co-founded in 1863 to help the victims of humanitarian crisis. She soon gave to the world an effort to establish a similar organization in the United States, even trying to enlist then President Rutherford B. Hayes in its creation. On May 21, 1818, Clara Alden Solomons, a community leader active in numerous charities, co-founder of the American Red Cross. To sum it up, now you know all about Clara Barton and the Red Cross. First, Clara risked her life to bring supplies to soldiers during the Civil War. Next, Clara almost died in the gruesome Battle of Antietam. Last, she is the co-founder of the Red Cross. Let me leave you with this thought. Let's challenge ourselves to donate to this fabulous organization.
Have you ever had weird but cool friends? Well, I have. They love to make up all kinds of jokes and dances, and just love to be weird, but stay true to their own selves. So, sit up, pay attention to this, because this is going to get funny, weird, and just a little hilarious. To start with, one friend loves to make up corny jokes, the kind that are a little cheesy and grown-worthy, like this one. Why do scuba divers fall backwards out of the boat? Any takers on this? No? Okay. Well, if they fell forward, they'd still be in the boat. I guess you just had to be there. A dancer friend, and I use that term loosely, loves to invent crazy dances, like the cake dance. She jumps up and down like a monkey, squinches her face all up, spins around, skipping, hopping with spaghetti legs, screaming, "I love cake, 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 cake." She revels in delight when she squirts mousse hairspray on my hardwood floors. Do you know how icky and slippery mousse hairspray is on a hardwood floor? She shot across that floor so fast, had my window been open, she'd have flown right to my big sago palm outside my room. And I mean a big, ginormous sago palm. Once she sprayed perfume to her own eyes. She shrieked, convulsed like she had been struck by lightning, fell to the floor deathly quiet. Then sprang up, eyes teary red, talking like Donald Duck in a foreign language. I never knew perfumed eyes could affect her speech. A third one is a cool one, but what a weirdo. In a good way, mind you. She tries to raise her eyebrows like this, tries to wiggle her nose like this, stands a cool stance with her arms crossed and gives a big, "Whoa, dudes." It's rib tickling for me. We enjoy each other's company and cherish our time together. Sometimes we don't always gel, but we do live by the golden rule. Treat others the way you guys would like to be treated. Some jokesters, some non-athletic athletes, some weird, funny, and cool. Some make me laugh by their spastic antics and body language. They are all awesome and display all the characteristics of the coolness and weirdness. I have shown you just a little quick glimpse of our lives, of that coolness and weirdness. Want to join us? You can have it too.
Did you know you can visit an animal safari right here in America? Well, I want to tell you about the time I went to the safari in Georgia. So grab your binoculars and apply sunscreen on the bug as I tell you about this great family adventure. First of all, when the morning had finally come and we were all excited to go, my family packed into my dad's car for an exhausting 3-hour trip. My brother snore I could feel our legs, but the 3 hours were worth it because from the sights we saw we knew we were in for an adventure. Once we were inside the gates of the safari, we walked around and saw animals like zebras, monkeys, bears, and a huge white-tailed. Next, we enjoyed the drive-through part of the safari and fed animals like deer, water buffaloes, and duck. There were so many I couldn't even count. They licked me, slaughtered me, and got mud all over me. Finally, we took a hike and heard the beautiful sound of the waterfall. As we walked towards the sound, we finally came to it, and what a spectacular view. By the end of the day, we may have been covered in animal slaughter and smelled like blood, but sometimes that's what adventures are made of. Having to be cramped up into a car for 3 hours was worth it because of the lasting memories we made.
All right, well, the moment you've all waited for. So it's an honor to be able to tell you who third, second, and first place winners are. However, in my heart, you're all winners, because at 4th grade, I would have never been able to do what you guys just did today. So all of you were fantastic. I've listened to you at practice, and most of you today, you did a fantastic job. So let's give yourselves one more round of applause. We had some really cool and interesting topics, but we will announce the first, second, and third place. As I call your name, if you would come up to Miss Allen, and then she'll show you where to stand so that Miss Reed can get a good picture of you. And then parents, as soon as we get those pictures, we'll let you take pictures as well, okay? All right, so third place with Mad Scientist Throughout History is Charles Allen Rose. And second place goes to the speech about addiction, McKenna. And first place goes to the Tasmanian Devil. Again, congratulations to each and every one of you. Good job to you. All of our students had a part in writing a speech and presenting in their classroom, and these were the finalists here. So congratulations to you all. Just wait for all.
Everyone has a different relationship with their siblings. Maybe it's a really good relationship. Maybe it's not as good. Okay, so maybe I don't have the best relationship with my sister. I mean, it's pretty hard to bond with someone who's always yelling at you. But there are some good things about having a younger sister. My sister, the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good. She's my first real best friend. She knows me better than anyone else, basically. Like, one time we were playing a Who Knows Me Better game, and obviously she won, but against all of my friends. She's always there for me. Like, when I'm sad, she cheers me up. Like, one time I was having a bad day, and she told me a joke that made my day better. I mean, she is pretty funny, I have to say. The bad. We fight about the dumbest things, like who touches whose things, who's the favorite, and who gets the TV controller. She tells on me all the time. She copies me, and it's so annoying. Speaking of annoying, she annoys me on purpose. She blames everything on me. Like one time we were playing, she was writing on a piece of paper with Sharpie, and it bled through on the table. She blamed it on me, and I got in trouble. Of course, like always. The ugly. She's so grumpy in the mornings. Oh my gosh, it drives me crazy. She yells and screams. She acts like some kind of angry Bigfoot or something. And you think that's bad? She's so sassy. Speaking of sassiness, she's so sassy, she thinks she's the queen, and she acts like she rules the house. And I'm pretty sure her sassiness bothers me the most. If she was your sister, you would understand. So if you think your brothers and sisters are bad, well then we'll switch. But bet you couldn't last a day with my sister. Today I am here to inform you that little sisters are a huge mistake. Let's begin. Little sisters, they ask for basically all the answers on their homework. That's not fair. Since I am their big sister, I have to help them. And since my big sister's in 8th grade, she already has a whole summer of homework to do herself. Okay, so one day we came back from school and she comes running into my room and says, "Help me! What is 9 minus 7? What is 4 minus 1? And if I don't help her, she'll go tattletale on me right over there where my mom is. And then I'm in huge trouble. So then I have to give her basically all the answers on her homework. Let's move further on. Little sisters, they tattletale on you all the time. So when I am doing homework, and only me, why do I always have to get yelled at? So last week we were doing our homework and she comes into my room without permission and says, "Help me or I'm telling Mom that you're not helping me do my homework." And if I don't, she'll go march right over to my mom and then tattletale. So then I have to basically give her all the answers and then I have to myself figure out the answers to my homework. Since I've told you all this, let's do a wrap up now, okay? In conclusion, I have told you what it's like to have sisters and most importantly, how little sisters are a huge pain. I told you how they snatch answers from you and they tattletale on you a million times in a day. This fight, or argument, I should say, should be over. After being yelled at, my ears hurt like so bad. Little sisters are great to play with, but when they find out you're playing with something of theirs, they'll never forget the moment.
Today I'm going to tell you something that most people don't know about me. I'm going to tell you about my geographic tongue. I know what you're thinking. Geographic tongue? Huh? What in the world is that? Just wait, I'll get to it. I have only met one other person that has it, and that's my dad. I actually Googled it, and there's about 3 million new cases per year that they know of. It's not an epidemic, but it is common. According to WebMD, geographic tongue gets its name from its mat-like appearance on the upper surface and sides of the tongue. Although it's cyclical, the patches will be in a different spot. It's not contagious and it won't cause cancer, which is good. It also says on the internet that it usually flares up from prolonged periods of stress. OMG, am I having stress? You know, I don't remember the exact time I got geographic tongue, but I don't remember a time without it. My tongue definitely hurts. A lot. My tongue hurts mostly when I have the patches on it, and then I eat something with citric acid in it. When there are spots or patches on my tongue, it kind of looks like spots on a giraffe. It looks nasty too. People like to ask a lot about my tongue, but I never try to show it. Okay, to answer the question probably everyone's thinking, is geographic tongue that bad? It's not that bad. It goes away. Well, for me, it goes away when I don't eat anything with sugar or citric acid in it. Oh, and when I eat a lot of water. But you know how kids are. They love candy. So for me, it's not that big of a deal. Just kidding. I love candy. It said on Google that the appearance of geographic tongue can be embarrassing. Well, to me, it's not that embarrassing. I'm not scared to share this topic with you because I think it makes something me. So if you have or know someone with geographic tongue, share it with me because I don't want it to just be me and my dad in the geographic tongue club. Just know, there's nothing wrong with your tongue. It just looks bad.
Killing me and it's swelling up. I have no idea what I've done to it.
The doctor says I have to wear a special boot until it heals. This special boot is called a moon boot. Have you ever had to wear a moon boot before? Well, I have. And it was hard, I promise. Now, let me tell you about my experience in a moon boot. For starters, moon boot sounds like some exciting new shoe trend that everyone is just dying to get, right? Wrong. Let me tell you, it is not as exciting as it sounds. There were so many things that were hard to do while wearing the moon boot, like walking. I had to wear it on my left foot, and it was so heavy, and it made my steps uneven. It was all very hard to put on, which slowed me down every morning when I was trying to get ready for school. Next, let me tell you how sad and hurtful it was to miss PE. Every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, I would miss PE because of my running and jumping proof moon boot. I also had to watch all my friends and the other kids play when I couldn't. No tag, no running, no running laps, no jumping rope, and no dodgeball. That's right. I got to just sit there in my moon boot and watch all of this happening around me. Last but not least, let me tell you how unfashionable my moon boot was. Picture it. It's school picture day, and here I am getting ready. I've got my cleanest WDE shirt on, my best shorts, my favorite shoe, and then there's the moon boot with its big black Velcro awkwardness, shining bright. There goes the Best Dressed Award. To conclude, I would just like to say that wearing a moon boot for 6 weeks is a hard job. It's uncomfortable, you can't join in at PE, and it's just not fashionable. I hope you never have to experience the moon boot.
Did you guys hear that? Is that what I think it is? Yeah, it is. It's my baby sister. She's playing with the toilet and the plunger again. Who didn't shut the bathroom door? If this situation sounds extreme, it's not. It's just a regular day at my house with a baby around. Taking care of a baby is no easy task, so I'm here to give you a few pointers. Care.com outlines a few things that a first-time babysitter needs to know. I'm going to discuss 3 of them. Supervising and monitoring the baby is super important when caring for them. This is important because there are a lot of things that babies can get into that you would be surprised. For example, one day, I was at the counter doing my homework and I looked over and I saw my baby sister eating a banana. That's funny, I thought. We haven't had bananas in our house for a couple of days. To my horror, I had realized she had scavenged it out of the trash like a straight savage. This is why supervising and monitoring a baby is super important when caring for them. The second thing that Care.com outlines is knowing the in and outs of babies. Let me tell you how I learned this firsthand. My baby sister loves to eat. She also loves to be tickled and loves to laugh. But the basic baby rule I learned is that these two do not mix. Waiting at the bus stop one day after just feeding my baby sister her favorite food of scrambled eggs, I decided she needed to laugh. I started to tickle her and she was laughing really hard. It was all fun and games until she exploded on my backpack and I had rotten egg barf all over it, right as the bus came. So remember, if you are going to be taking care of a baby, make sure you know the basics. The third thing Care.com says is putting age-specific knowledge about kids to play. This is important because how you interact with and play with a child can be dependent on age. One of the things my baby sister loves is when I go on my hands and knees, roll over, and chase her. She loves this because she is getting attention and you are at her level. Her favorite game is when I go on my back, cover my eyes, and yell, peekaboo. One night we were playing this game, and just as she was walking around and I was about to cover up my eyes and yell peekaboo, but to my surprise, a fully loaded diaper sat straight on my face. As she lay there, laughing, and I was there vulnerable, unable to escape the stench. This was very unfortunate for me, but because I was playing with her, that's all that mattered. To wrap it up, taking care of a baby is an exciting task, and if you're going to take on the challenge, make sure you know the basics.
From water to dry land, you can find these in at least 90 countries. Some people are so captivated by them, and others find them off-putting, to say the least. Some may consider them to just be a fad created in 2002, until 2018, making a grand comeback. The shoes we all love to hate, Crocs. In the beginning, the foam clog, otherwise known as Crocs, were designed as a boating shoe. The company was given the name Crocs after the multi-environment amphibious nature of crocodiles. A couple of years later, after creating the clog, the company decided to expand with new ideas, catching the attention of fashion designers everywhere. Now in more styles and in more places than ever before. Crocs are taking a big step forward for comfort, for happy feet everywhere. In the last few years, the brand has had a surge in popularity, especially in the teen and young adult demographic. Many of Croc fans love the bright, fun colors. You can even decorate them with charms. But they're not just clogs anymore. They make sandals and even running shoes, opening up shoppers to moms, dads, and even grandparents. Who would have thought? Unfortunately, Crocs can be dangerous and should not be worn all day. They can actually cause some serious problems for your feet. But for people like diabetics who have poor circulation in their feet, the spare room helps with this issue. The fact that they are water resistant and easy to clean are one of their best qualities, if you ask my mom. So, you see, we can safely say, well, yes, they may not be popular for their looks. They are, however, popular for their comfort and durability. They may have updated their looks to appeal to their key demographic, but they will always be the same comfortable and easy to wear Crocs. Love them or hate them, the Croc brand is strong and instantly recognizable.
Hi, I'm Eccentric. You know about dogs, right? Well, I'm sure you do. Well, dogs are very companionable pets. They are very popular in the world. A lot of people have pets, probably even you. Well, I have pets. I have 2 Labrador Retrievers and a Japanese Chin. Fun fact, did you know that over 44% of the world owns dogs as a pet? Pretty mind-blowing, right? First of all, don't forget about keeping your dogs clean. They need their manicures and pedicures too. They care just as much about being clean and fancy as you. So get your pooches out for a ride for a super special surprise. They may not like it at first, but in the end, they will be pooch-tastic. And by the way, make sure you don't force your dogs to get a manicure or pedicure. If they don't want it and are scared, forget about it. Secondly, dogs are good companions. They will go on walks, rides, hikes, and even naps with you. When you're sick, they can sense it. Dogs will give you a gentle nudge to get you back up if you're sick. If you're sad, same thing. If they spot you crying or sitting around doing nothing, they will give you a kiss on the cheek to make you feel better. Last but not least, dogs aren't just good companions. Sometimes they can be real lifesavers. Throughout history, there have been stories of dogs showing courage and sacrifice to stay with or comfort people who needed help. Dogs have often played an important role during times of war and disaster. A dog's nose is one of the best tools for finding people who are trapped in rubble or destroyed buildings in natural disasters. In conclusion,
Dogs can do mostly everything from being close buddies to saving people's lives. First, make sure you give your dogs proper care. Second, dogs are good friends. Last, dogs aren't just good buddies, sometimes they can save other people's lives. To sum it up, in my opinion, if you don't have a dog as a pet, you need to.
My story begins when I was 2 seconds old. You might be thinking, oh no, here's another story about a kid and his boring life. But this is where you're wrong. This is a story about the Espana family. My family consists of me, 1 brother, 2 sisters, 1 mom and dad, 5 dogs, 6 cats, 1 pony, 1 horse, 7 goats, and 3 chickens. Phew, now that was a lot to go through. Now let me tell you my story of growing up. I'll start when I was about 3 years old. One thing I remember is that I was a very, and I mean very, chubby kid. Moving on to when I was about 6 years old. At this time, I loved to read, so when I was 7, I was able to read books that were meant for 5th graders. My teachers saw my desire to read and put me in the gifted program, which now consists of me and 2 5th graders and 2 more 4th graders. Now moving on to 3rd grade. In this grade, I met someone named Cody. He was the only person who read the same level of books as me, so we challenged each other to get even more points. He definitely won, because when I had around 140 points, he had over 800 points. Now we enter the miraculous world of 4th grade. Some fun things that I loved in 4th grade were the biophilia trips, the luau, and last but not least, I got my very own chubby, wrinkly, smooshy-faced bulldog named Red Road, aka known as Spider Dog, but that's another story. Now moving on to the next grade. Can you guess it? Of course you can. 5th grade. Some fun memories I had were that we got to go bowling, I got to fly my own drone, and we got another smushy-faced bulldog. So far, I should say that I've had a pretty good life, even though I've had some bumps and turns.
In spite of everything, I still believe people are really good at heart. The author of The Diary of a Young Girl, Anne Frank, once wrote those inspiring words. Today we'll be talking about Anne Frank and who she was. Now let's get started. Anne Frank was a happy girl with a loving family and friends. Anne was like most of us, going to school and hanging out with friends, just a girl living life. Until that dreadful day in 1942, when Adolf Hitler was taking over most of Europe, and then her family had to run for their lives and go into hiding at a place called the Secret Annex, where later they were found by Nazi soldiers and sent to death camps. Anne would never see her family and friends alive again. All Anne had was memories of her life. The last birthday Anne had with her family before she went into hiding, she received a wonderful gift that would become of great importance. It was a diary. Anne called her diary Kitty because she didn't have any friends to talk to. When Anne was in hiding, she heard on the radio all letters and diaries will be published. Anne was filled with joy and wanted badly for her diary to be published. It was her dream. Sadly, Anne never got to see that day. On August 4th, 1944, Anne was sent to a death camp where she became very sick and died in the month of February 1945. Later, Anne's father, Otto Frank, the only survivor of Anne's family, received Anne's diary and published it as The Diary of a Young Girl. If Anne only knew all the people Kitty got to talk to. Even though Anne Frank lived in fear, sadness, and heartbreaks, she still believed people were really good at heart. We all have 2 choices in this world, to be kind or mean. I too choose to believe that, in spite of everything, people are good. I too will be a hope to someone in a dark place in their life. Hope is something every one of us should keep. Let us always remember Anne Frank's story. After all she went through, if she can have hope, so can we. Be the hope in the darkness for someone.
Nom nom nom. Sharks, camera, action. Now that I have your attention, I must admit something. I, Carly and Alan, have an obsession with sharks. Yes, these majestic beings hold a special place in my heart. And now I know what you're thinking. Why does a girl like me have an obsession with sharks? Well, there are thousands of reasons, but I'm crunched for time. So here are my 3 reasons for an obsession with sharks. To begin, all sharks are great, but there is one that's the boss of them all, weighing in at 300 pounds, reaching top speeds over 60 miles per hour, is the world's fastest shark, the Mako. This is the shark that doesn't have to put up a fight. I mean, we can all take a lesson from the Mako shark. Standing at 12 feet tall, no one will stop you. Moving on, let me take you to where it all began, Shark Week. I sat there for hours absorbing the knowledge that Shark Week had to offer. I even learned that sharks don't just swim in water, they also walk on land. And the Mako shark only jumps out of water for his food. Now, through the years, I've gotten more serious about my Shark Week. My family has no life during this week. We are ready to be home at 7 o'clock for showtime. And I don't just watch Shark Week like normal people do. I am dressed to the nines in my shark hat, shark blanket, and sipping sweet tea out of my shark light-up cup. This tradition has carried on for 4 years, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. To wrap things up, sharks have pretty cool habitats. Their habitats include wide open oceans, shallow waves, and sometimes they even live in fresh water. I am really fascinated by their beautiful coral reefs. These coral reefs provide food, protection, and produces oxygen. Too bad sharks don't share their homes. Wouldn't it be great to live in a coral reef? To conclude, my obsession isn't all that bad. There is a lot more to learn about sharks. So my advice to you is to attend school for Shark Week and brush up your shark knowledge. And if you catch the sharky bug, well, I guess I'll see you in Sharks Anonymous. Time to swim out. Baby shark doo 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 doo.
Thank you all for waiting patiently. I want to thank you all again for coming out today to support our students. But students, I want you to give yourself a great big round of applause. You did a fantastic job. I said this before, I'll say it again, you're all winners in my book. I don't think I could have done what you did today at your age. I'm pretty certain I could not have. All right, so for the moment you've all been waiting for, as I call your name for 3rd, 2nd, and 1st, you'll come up to Miss Allen and she'll show you where to stand for pictures. And parents, as soon as we get the first 3 lined up here, we'll let you take pictures as well. We'll get Miss Reed to come up and get a picture. All right, in 3rd place with Crocs is Callie Brackett. In 2nd place, Sharks Anonymous, Carlin Allen. And our 1st place winner with Geographic tongue in her mouth. Congratulations to each and every one of them again. And Miss Reed, if you want to come on up and get your pictures. And